What's up, geeks? It's Kev, and welcome to the very first episode of Kev at Home.
Kev at Home.
Thanks so much for joining me, guys. Obviously, things have been turned upside down, and we're not able to do things that we're accustomed to, and to a very, very minor degree, that also goes for Geekcentric. Obviously, we can't get together in the Geekcentric studios to put together the kind of content that we normally do, so we figured if we're going to be doing this for a while, we might as well try a few new things. I thought it would be fun to film a few videos from my house, and so I thought, what better way to start than with a tour of what I call the Kevzeum, my homage to all things pop culture, movies, television, sports, a little wrestling. I like to collect a little bit of everything, just that sort of reflects my likes and interests. Anyways, why don't we just jump right into it and get started? I've been collecting for as long as I can remember, really. But I really started to collect when I was 9 or 10 and absolutely fell in love with Star Wars. And one of the things I first started collecting was these awesome Micro Machine heads. I'm sure you recognize them from a previous video we did, taking a close look at the Micro Machine Millennium Falcon. If you want a closer look at these, definitely go and check out that video when you're done watching this one. As you can see, I love Star Wars. I love all things Star Wars. Favorite character in all of movies is hands down, without a doubt, no questions asked, Han Solo. I try and pick up little Han Solo knickknacks anytime I see them. I've got Han and Carbonite just about in every bloody room, it seems. I really did think that 2 Billies was going to be enough to sort of house what I already had. But if you'll take a look at this box, there are probably just as many pops and figures and items in this box as are on the actual shelves, so I definitely need more storage space just for Star Wars. Stone Cold and The Rock, these are the first 2 Funkos I ever got. These were actually a gift from J-Law himself. Also in this wrestling collection here, I've got various, knickknacks. I've got some of the original action figures back from when I was 10, 11 years old. Little knickknacks from the various WrestleManias I've been to. I have tons more wrestling stuff that there just isn't room to show. But so these are some of my favorite pieces in that. On the same shelf here, it's my shrine to Toronto sports. I guess my biggest collection would be the Blue Jays bobbleheads that I've been collecting pretty fervently over the last 5 years. I don't think I've missed one in the last 5 seasons. Any Toronto-based pop that they have, Raptors, Leafs, I've got it. So next we'll move on to what is kind of a mishmash of various movies and television shows. I've got most of the Parks and Rec, and I've got most of Futurama here, but I also only have a couple characters from, say, Saved by the Bell or The Simpsons, and so it really is just picking and choosing maybe favorite characters or favorite moments from movies or television that are represented. I love Ghostbusters, big fan, and so I've tried to get as many of the characters, both old and new, that I could. And I will just stop right here and say, I'm sure you've noticed that the DVDs that all these pops and collectibles are sort of situated on, that was the first time I really collected something hardcore. I think I got up to about 1,200 pieces between movies and TV shows, and so now they're just an excellent way to utilize as much space on these Billies as I can. So now let's move on to what, outside of Star Wars, is probably my biggest collection, and that is Game of Thrones. I have now spent the last 4 or 5 years tracking down every little item. I scour Amazon and places like that all the time. My biggest regret in pop collecting is not starting this collection sooner, because it cost me a lot of money to track down some of these original ones, like the, Robb Stark, the Hound. I'm really happy with the way this collection has come together, and I really hope they're not done making pops in this series just because the show's done. And now let's finally move on to what is probably the most personally connected collection to me, Disney. It's not only a shrine to the Disney parks, and you'll recognize a lot of this stuff from our most recent video, A Day at Disney. Obviously you can see here that the Haunted Mansion is not only my favorite ride, but it's also the most well-represented in the world of pops. And then it's sort of just a hodgepodge of random Disney characters throughout the rest of the collection here. I love the movie moments. Here's the Frozen collection that you would recognize from the Frozen musical that we did. There's a little shrine here to Galaxy's Edge. But again, yeah, just a hodgepodge of Disney characters from both classic cartoons, from the Pixar world. Again, another collection that it would have been really nice to start 5-6 years ago when they were really starting to put these things out. Well, that about wraps up the tour. Thank you so much for joining me here on the very first episode of Kev at Home. Really, really fun to sort of bring you into my world and show you my side of the game. So thank you so much for joining us. As always, we are Geekcentric and you can be too. So if you like this video, let us know in the comments below. If you know another collector that you think might like to see some of these items, these collections, share it with them, share it with the world. Let's get Kev at home in everybody's homes. And guys, please, from the bottom of our hearts, we love you. Stay home safe.